Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to some fresh Entropia content. Today I got a whole bunch of new stuff on the go, got some questions and comments from the viewers, and I'm going to try to get some things actually done in the game for a change. Not just stand around collecting sweat. Speaking of, I did some extra sweating yesterday, but I don't believe I made it to the 10k mark. Almost another K. So sorry guys, anyone who wanted to buy sweat at my shop, I'm not going to have it yet. Currently I got 8k and change, so hopefully next trip I come back to Rocktropia, I'll be able to restock with sweat. Now really I should have just bought some sweat to resell, but my ped flow has been really low after I found out that I can't sell the mankinis that I spent all my ped crafting to sell. Alright, we got an existing bid on the Rocktech chair frame. If anyone wants to help out, they could place some extra bids on this one. It's on Calypso right now. Now I do post these videos daily, every day, so all the content is fresh and new. So anything you see that's in this video, it should still be for sale in the auction, unless you're watching this video much weeks later after it was posted. Right, I'm pretty sure I finished stocking everything up at Camp Crunk. What was the viewer things I got? Oh yeah, one of the viewers in the Facebook group happened to point out that oil rig by Noobs, the strip club, happens to be activated when anyone kills someone, then the oil starts coming out. Which I think that is possible. The only thing I would have skeptical of that explanation is I have collected oil there non-stop for like weeks, and I didn't see anyone PvP the entire time. So maybe that's true? I don't know. Maybe someone went on a huge killing spree at that oil ring, and it just kept giving oil for weeks after because so many players were killed. That could be it. Yeah, that would make sense, because if I was going to trigger something to give away free stuff, it would only be triggered when people spend enough money to pay for it. Alright, today's menu, I got a little bit more of the Sun Farms Cannabis Sativa. Purchased from the Ontario Cannabis Store, the OCS website. Price is good on this batch too, $4.20 a gram. I noticed the Ontario Cannabis Store is starting to stock some cheaper prices, slashing prices on already existing strains. Now there is one fishy topic about the Ontario Cannabis site. I don't know if many people have noticed, or I guess a few people are talking about it. Oh yes, I also found some dung yesterday. It's weird, I could have swore I had lots of dung for sale. Maybe I'll check my booth and see how much is there. Alright, if anyone wants to swing by my booth and see what I got the metal residue. 386 peds worth, so if anyone can swing by and help pick that up, that would really boost my crafting again. I also have a few of the one copy of the Mankini print here for sale. No one bought it yet, so I'll lower the price. And I'm going to keep lowering the price till it sells. So if you actually want a chance to get it, you may have to pay a little bit higher, because if you keep waiting for it to drop, someone may buy it. Now let's make it a big slash. Half price, 500 ped. Yeah, if anyone could help me out, that'd be about $50 US. That'd be a pretty sick donation to the show. And you get a Mankini print out of the deal. Right? Oh yeah, and I also put a Renoa bikini. There's not too many of these around. I guess 60 of them is sold. But when you compare how many players in Entropia are female, there's probably thousands. So if you want to swing by and pick this up, it'd be pretty cool. Oh yeah, I seen Bonnie. Yeah, and I guess I am saying her name right. I was checking it out more carefully, and it was Bonnie EU. So I kept thinking EU was part of her name, but no, I think that means Entropia Universe. A little slow. No, Bonnie was trying it on, and that is a little heart logo that they have there. She had it nicely colored. Yeah, so that's some of the shit I got happening at my shop. Oh yeah, and I'll cover some of the other viewer questions. One guy was like, holy shit, man, is your show always going to be about the mankini? Is that all you're obsessed about? Or paraphrase it, something like that. No, and to be honest, what he's saying is actually kind of true in a way. It's like I have been doing too much mankini content, and it is almost kind of getting to me. What I was hoping to do was just cover the mankini a little bit, put it for sale in my shop, and be done with it. Move on to the next topic. The only reason it's dragged on is because of fucking Mindark shit, where now I can't even sell the mankinis. There's all these controversies. But yeah, I don't know if I remembered to say that yesterday, but I got some intel that at Camp Icarus, they're holding a protest for the mankini. So I don't know what's going to happen with that. I noticed a lot of people in the Facebook groups have been posting comments that they bought the mankini, gave it to people as gifts. Now they're fucking pissed because the gifts are useless. So yeah, what was it? One of the guys, fuck, can't remember his name. Yeah, one of the other guys from the Facebook group, he was posting too the same thing that I was talking about. Like, Mindark is a game, or Entropia is a game for adults, 18 plus only. So really, if you can't handle fucking kid-like content, or adult content, you should be playing kids' games. Like, go fucking play Pokemon or something with the other rapists. Just kidding. No, that was on the news yesterday. I shouldn't laugh about it, but apparently there are some sexual allegations occurring at Pokemon tournaments. Or not Pokemon, fucking, what is that battle fighting game from Nintendo? Smash Brothers, that's it. Fucking recall speed. It's like, I still have the memories, it's just I can't recall them fast. But it is actually speeding up a little bit each day, so I'm going to keep working at it. Now anyways, yeah, so there's some scandals on the news that at Smash Brothers fighting tournaments, apparently the tournament organizer was diddling the boys in the tournament. And he was even openly doing it, like making comments during the matches, and people didn't call him out on it. And it got to the point where the whole thing has been shut down now. So I'm like, holy fuck, man. It's like, it's not just the church or that has this shit going on, it's video game tournaments too. Now that's why I was never big into the idea of actual physical video game tournaments for money. I was always surprised that they didn't do it online tournaments. But I guess it's the whole lag issue with the internet, right? They prefer to compete in person so that they get less chance of lag. Well anyways, enough of the fucking bad news. Let's go off to Monria and see what kind of luck I can have crafting there. Fucking jinxed that, didn't I? Oh yeah, I had this bee thing. I was planning on placing it. It says I've reached the max limit. Oh yeah, I have 1,000 shit for sale. If anyone wants some shit, you know where to get shit. Alright, let's pick up that shirt. Those Next Island shirts aren't really the fastest seller. I like this bee thing. I had it in my shop at Monria, but for some reason I brought it here. But I'm kind of glad I did. I like it. Nobody better buy this thing. I like it. Just to try to prevent you from buying it, I'm going to put 10 ped. That's double the price of what it's worth. Come on, people. Don't buy this. Now, I know there's a lot of rebels out there that'll always do the opposite of what people say. So I'm telling you, don't buy this. Now, what other video game news did I hear that was pretty interesting? There's been more and more talk about the Intellivision Amico and how it's like the worst console that's ever been created, according to some people, and other people are still loving it. My issue with the Intellivision Amico is it's the exact opposite of the system that I wanted Tommy Tellerico to release. or for Intellivision to release. It's a vegan console. And I'm not really cool with the whole vegan philosophy. It's actually the opposite philosophy of what I believe. So that's probably why that I don't like the Amico very much. But I'm not going to hate on it. I love Tommy, and I'm thinking, man, if anyone can turn the Amico around, it's Tommy. No, but apparently Tommy and Pat the NES punk does like video game TV shows on YouTube. Or not TV shows, YouTube shows. So anyways, he's been covering the Amico a little bit, and I'm glad he's covering it the way he is, because a lot of people love Tommy, like me, and get caught up in the ass kissing. They're like, holy shit, it's Tommy Tallarico, I gotta agree with everything he says. And if you don't agree with Tommy on social media, he'll literally write like a 3-page rebuttal and fucking ream you out. And it's like he does it to every comment too. It's not like just the occasional comment he'll respond. Everyone. It's almost like bullying behavior. Which I find kind of strange for the president of the company. Like, I knew Tommy was really into doing that, and when he became the president of Intellivision, I was a little bit surprised that he had switched. Well, I wasn't really surprised with the whole vegan stuff. I don't know when Tommy went vegan. Maybe it was early on, and I shouldn't be blaming the veganism. Yeah, so anyways, Tommy's been having a lot of rough issues. His video games live show has already reached the point where it's into crowdfunding. I know I went to a video games live show in my city, and Tommy was telling me that he's kind of hit rock bottom when it came to marketing video games live. He started to use volunteers instead of paying for marketing. And I helped volunteer do it, and it was a lot of hard work, and we got nothing back in return. So I was kind of surprised that Tommy left all of his volunteers hanging. But maybe it's because when we went to the show, the volunteers didn't have a lot of organization from Tommy. So we actually failed at giving out the tickets or the flyers. And the entire stadium, or fucking not stadium, concert hall that I went to see video games live with was like a fucking ghost town. There was like maybe 10, 20 people in a 1,000-seat stadium. And like fucking... there were so many people for the Video Games Live Symphony that there was actually more people on the stage than there was in the crowd. Now, I don't know about you guys, but if you're holding a fucking musical event or venue or something, I think normally there's supposed to be more people in the crowd than there is performing. Now, I don't want to fucking bash Tommy for that, because like technically... the video games live thing is really hard to run and organize and advertise, and asking someone to do it with just volunteer thing is kind of like setting it up to fail. So I kind of wonder if this sort of philosophy that Tommy's been working on has spread over to the Amico. Maybe he's got a lot of volunteers working on the project and no one's really doing anything. I don't know. Like, Tommy released a video about the Amico controller, and he had some guy sitting at a desk pretending to work on it. Like, you could almost tell when Tommy brought the camera over to show him working on it, he was like, oh! It's like he was just playing on solitaire on Facebook or something, and all of a sudden Tommy's coming to check to see if he's doing anything. Not to bash that guy, he seems like a cool guy, he's into video games and stuff. I'm sure we'd get along on a lot of topics. Yeah, and just even the Intellivision studio. Like, I was thinking Tommy's hanging around with a lot of the big Saudi Arabia billionaires in Dubai. So I thought this Intellivision Amico studio was going to be like a fucking mansion. But no, the Intellivision studio kind of looked like smaller than my mom's basement. I was kind of surprised. I was like, man, it's like trash, there's garbage everywhere. It's definitely not like a clean studio that you'd want to be developing a real product in. So, I don't know. I guess this video is kind of bashing what Tommy's doing a lot, but really, if I had to pick anyone to support a project on, it would be Tommy. So it's like, I'm not trying to hate that much. I'm actually kind of a critical person only to people that I like. So if you're someone I don't like, there's chances are I will never be critical of you. I don't care if you improve or not. Just be honest about it. No, so that was a little bit of the news, the Intellivision Amico. I'm going to do a whole video topic about it soon. I've been debating whether or not I should release it because I don't want to piss Tommy off. I know I've already left a few comments, like suggestions about what he should do for the Amico and what mistakes I think he's making. And I got a few page rebuttals, and I couldn't even read them because a lot of cases it's like, I don't know, it's kind of like arguing with someone who already has their opinion and they'll never change it no matter what you say. They just keep repeating the same things over and over. So it's like, I don't know, usually when I'm arguing with someone, if they like acknowledge some of my points and then try to emphasize some of theirs, then it's like, yeah, I'll continue arguing. But if they just like ignore everything you say and don't acknowledge any of it, it's like, that's not really an argument at that point. It's just someone yelling at you. It's not even a debate, right? No, and Tommy's had a few legal issues going too, where, I don't know, like Tommy, when he's on Facebook, he's always asking everyone for like free software. He always pulls video content off other people's channel, uses it without asking them. So you kind of assume that he would have that same philosophy to other things. But no, when it came time to someone doing that to his work, the oof sound, then all of a sudden he got pissed and he's doing a whole bunch of lawsuits. So rightfully so, if you lost money and you're into lawsuits, and boom, that's probably what everyone would do in that situation. But I'm kind of against the whole lawsuit philosophy. Like, I don't believe in the court system the way it's set up right now. I think copyright and all that bullshit shouldn't be fought in courts. It's like, I don't think taxpayers should be paying to fight battles over billionaires that are trying to sue little people. It's like, that's not right. It's like, I know a lot of cases people will be like, oh, then why should I ever invent something if people are just going to get it for free? It's like, well, that's the same thing when you create art, right? It's like, why would you create art or a song if people could just look at it or listen to it for free? It's like what you do. It's part of life. You can't sue people. Like, you can actually get sued for singing happy birthday. That's how our society is set up right now. So really, it's not anything to do with Tommy. Tommy's just going with our current system, going by its rules. So really, it makes sense for him to sue, what is that company called? The people that run the oof sound game. What is that thing called? Oh, fuck. Goddamn recall. Holy shit, guys. My vapor oil tank is filling so fast. It's like already bubbling. And I noticed too, this bloody fucking heat wave is actually good for my vaporizer because it keeps the tank liquid, or the oil in the tank, a little bit more liquidy so that the air can flow through it like water. Because normally when it's really thick oil in like cooler temperatures or cooler room temperature, then you have to pop it. Like you take a good strong hoot on it. That was not a good motion. It reminds me of my brother one time when someone was asking him how to use a bong. He's like, you just stick it in your mouth and you suck it. Like, ugh. It's like not in a good way. Roblox, that's it. I was trying to think the name of that game that Tommy's suing. Yeah, so Tommy's suing Roblox, which, to me, if I was like in charge of a video game company like Intellivision, and I had some sort of interaction with Roblox, especially if it was a heated interaction about some sort of like conflict, I'd be like, man, this conflict is a perfect opportunity to hash things out and try to get some sort of partnership or some way to work together with fucking your enemies. Like, normally if you have bullies that are bugging you in your life, you can either fight with the bullies or like complain about them, try to get them arrested, or use what they're using to bully you as motivation to make yourself stronger than the bully, right? So yeah, that's kind of how I look at this situation. Like, really, Tommy and this conflict with Roblox, they could work out some sort of partnership. Like, Roblox is one of the most popular video games in the world right now, with over 40 million active players. I think that's like the population of my fucking country, for God's sakes. So anyways, like, Intellivision Amico has about 100 or maybe 1,000 fans. So I was like, you think you'd want to kind of merge these two? Like, hey, Tommy, like, I don't know, like, sure, you might have to like bow down or knee down when you're in the right and they're in the wrong. But if you did and you worked out some sort of fucking arrangement, like a show of good faith. They'd be like, holy shit, Tommy's like being nice to us. It's like, shit, we should almost do something nice to him because he's going out of his way, even being nice over something that he's right about and apologizing. It's like, holy. No, but yeah, you could work out some game to get Roblox on the fucking Amico, like a custom version that people would like playing. Holy fuck, man. If I was Tommy, that's the road I'd be going. Rather than trying to sue Roblox, because I'm pretty sure Roblox will have the fucking best lawyers in the world, just because they're one of the richest companies in the world. But you never know. Sometimes little guys sue the big guy and win, so Tommy probably has a chance in this lawsuit. Yeah, I don't know, like if I was Tommy and I was faced with making huge profits from Amico because I fucking did a partnership with Roblox, comparing it to I sued Roblox and made a lot of profits and no one really liked the Amico, like what choice would you pick? Alright, so some more Entropia news. Let's see. What other Entropia comments did I get? Now I got some chocolate milk today. Hopefully that's going to help with vaporizing. Yeah, let's talk a little bit about space in Entropia maybe. Has anyone heard any updates about the whole fucking space situation? I noticed that Mindark a couple of years ago, they're like, oh, we're going to start doing some space missions, more space content. I know my old buddy Beamer, before he passed, he was all into space and Entropia. He was always hoping that Entropia would make these space changes. It's kind of sad that they never happened in his lifetime, but yeah, maybe they're still coming. And yeah, what kind of changes would I like to see in space? I think with space, if you could sweat in space. No, really, like I was thinking maybe space suits, so that you could actually like float around in space and survive. I noticed they do the animation now when your ship explodes, you're just stuck in space and you die because you can't breathe. But it would be kind of neat if we could survive in like a spacesuit or something. Maybe make the spacesuit so that you can go around in space, but you can't actually fucking go into orbit. That'd be kind of funny if you could throw on the space or the spacesuit and fly all the way to a planet. I don't know, that might be a little bit much. What other space changes? I know one really good space change I would like to see. When I started getting into captaining or piloting the motherships, I noticed, yeah, maybe I'll do an episode on that once I hook up with doing an episode with Yoshi. But anyways, yeah, once you're in space and you're the captain of the mothership, I noticed a bunch of things that had room for improvement. Like if you're beginner level entry, getting used to doing space stuff on the space station, you'd probably be doing the repair work. And you noticed, in order for the crew to do repair work, they have to get the captain of the mothership to get damage done to the ship. So what the captain of the mothership is doing, you might not know, is he's outside, well, sitting in the pilot's seat looking outside, and he's looking around space for all those aliens, those space mobs. And what he does, and how he's getting skills without even having to repair, is he's getting the pilot, the mothership piloting skills. So every time you sit in that mothership seat and you start piloting the ship, you're unlocking more and more skills. But there's a catch. Those skills only come when you're getting chased by those aliens. So I was like, oh, that's cool. But there's a catch that I noticed that makes it room for improvement. Is when you're getting a huge pile of those aliens all chasing your mothership, they chase you. And in every other part of Entropia, when you get a big mob chasing you, eventually the skills run out. Like you can only get a mob to chase you and you'll get skills for so long before it stops giving you those skills. And then you have to get a new mob. I think the reason that is Entropia put that feature in so people couldn't just put a robot to control someone running in a circle and then have an enemy that can't quite kill them but can just hurt them, chase them forever, and then leave the computer on and walk away, and then come back in like a year or two and find your skills through the roof. No, so yeah, that's probably why they put it in there, so that you have to keep getting fresh mobs. So what people on the surface of planets in Entropia do is they'll take those mobs and they'll bring them to the turret, and they'll kill them all, then they can go get new ones. So I was thinking that's what's lacking in space. When you're the spaceship captain and you have all these aliens, you bring them back, but their fucking skills stop because you can never turret them. So I was thinking, it'd be kind of neat if somewhere in the game, like maybe not every space station, but have one space station or two that have aliens around them that has a turret. So it's like if you collect a whole bunch of aliens, you can turret them once the skills are done, and then fly them back out and start collecting fresh skills. Now I'm trying to think, the way they have it set up right now, is someone on the ship is going to have to kill some of the aliens in order for the rest of the crew to keep doing this cycle. Well, actually no, because the pilot could keep doing it, but he'll eventually stop getting skills. But everyone else doing the repair work in the ship, they'll keep getting skills. So that's what I was thinking, it kind of sucks. So that's where there's room for improvement. I don't know, maybe they've already changed that feature. Or maybe I just fucked up and I didn't even understand there's a way around that. Now I was thinking too, space is kind of limited in what you can do in space. Like you can fight aliens, yeah, that's pretty cool. But I don't think you can mine in space, and can't craft in space. Like if they put a manufacturing terminal on the fucking space stations and had space themed blueprints, that'd be a fucking huge upgrade. I'd be going to space to craft all the time then, because I'd be wanting to get more quads and Sleipners and all the space items. Well, I was thinking too, another neat upgrade to Entropia. You know when we have the load screen and it has like the images flashing on the screen from the planet updates? I was thinking that's kind of a neat thing, but they should have like something that opens like a link that you can click, and it won't just have the news from that planet, but it'll have the list of all the news recently in Entropia. Just sort of like a magazine or something. And it'll just have like daily updates of what's happening on each planet. What planet has the best missions going, or limited missions. Because yeah, that's a game I've been playing a lot lately that I played actually to win some money in Entropia, Clone Evolution. And they have these like cycling events that'll happen like say once a month. And every time you're collecting stuff for that mission, you can put it in for rewards, or you can bank all those rewards and wait for the mission to come around again. So I kind of wish, it's like they should incorporate some sort of mission chain like that into Entropia, where we'll have like, well I guess they do those Emon events or whatever, but I don't think the points ever carry over from one mission Elon event to the next one. Be like, say if you're doing one of those Elon hunting events and you wanted to cash in your points for the reward, you could, or you could say, hey, I won't cash mine in, I'll leave this opportunity for other people to cash in and claim first place, but I'll bank mine and then use a double cash in for the next one. And I think what this does, like Clone Evolution Company probably realized it, is it gets people investing into something that they want to see an outcome for that's like distant in the future. It's kind of like when someone likes brewing wine or something. They like the process of all brewing it all with this goal in mind in the end. So it's like, and I think that's what's lacking in Entropia. The goal in the end of these missions, like Elon hunting events, is always very immediate. Like you hunt, you do the Elon mission, you could win, probably not going to, and it's all just right now. And then there's going to be a whole nother new event where everything happening now doesn't even matter. So that's why when these missions carry over and it can like matter, that's where Clone Evolution is on to something, I think. They're not just on something like, you know who. That was the other thing. I was listening to Joe Rogan's podcast yesterday. He was trying to explain to someone who smokes or does never smoke weed why he started and what he gains from it. And I think Joe is actually being more honest about it now because he started to realize that cannabis does have a lot of negative side effects. But there are a few, like that he mentioned, the creative aspect. Sometimes when you're high as fuck, you just come up with ideas that you'd never think of unless you were. Not that all those ideas are going to be good. It's like 99% of the time they're shit. But there's like that 1% time where someone who's high as fuck came up with a fucking amazing idea, right? And that's why everyone shouldn't be a shaman, right? It's like if everyone kept trying to do that and everyone was wrong 99% of the time, it would ruin a lot of lives, right? It's like you kind of just leave it to those people who think they can do it. Be like, hey man, if you guys think you can do it already, don't try to push it on people. Yeah, I've never really liked brainwashing people. Even though it seems like, I guess, everything I'm talking about is advice. Yeah, that's what people should start calling me, maybe. The king of contradiction. The more I listen to my show replays, I'm like, holy fuck. It's nothing like doing a podcast where you're honest with yourself and then you listen to it later, you're like, holy fuck, some of my honesty is brutal. Alright, so what's going to happen when I get to Monria? Monria I'm really looking forward to because the last time I went there and I did this explosive projectile print experiment, I actually got one of my first ever globals from using explosive projectile 1. Or was it that, or was it another? No, it was another print I was using, fuck. But anyways, I'm going to try the explosive projectile print 1 and hopefully I can pull off my first global using it. And the other thing too, I wanted to test if the recycle prints are very common here. I think I've had one recycle print from looting or doing the explosive projectile prints, and I can't remember what planet I looted it on. I think it might have been Rocktropia. And that wouldn't surprise me because Rocktropia, I don't know if any crafters has noticed this, but it seems for some reason that looting blueprints on Rocktropia is a little bit loaded. In the way that, I don't know if there's more big spenders on the planet and they're building up a bigger loot pool, or if it's just some sort of favoritism to never die. I'm just kidding. No, but really, 9 times out of 10, when I profit on a crafting run, it's on Rocktropia. So that's probably why you'll notice, well, you haven't noticed yet because I haven't put many videos out, but I do tend to craft on Rocktropia the most. And usually what it is too, I'll craft on Rocktropia for quite a while until I've built up enough profit that I can afford to try crafting on another planet and fail, and then go back to Rocktropia and rebuild up my fucking peg card. Yeah, so there's quite a bit of strategy involved. Yeah, and if I had to rate planets in order of which ones I have the best crafting luck on, I think it would be Rocktropia number 1, Cyrene number 2, but with a close tie for number 2 with Tulayan and Cyrene. Both of those planets seem to have reasonably good markup on their blueprints. Arcadia, I was kind of hoping I could get into number 2, because I liked that planet for quite a while. That's my biggest profits when it came to buying and reselling shops was on Arcadia. But I'd have to say the Arcadia prints have been pretty slim markups. I don't know, maybe someone's had better luck with Arcadia prints and reselling them. Is there any that you can mention? I don't want to be the only one sharing my secrets here. Come on, guys. Now, I don't really share all my crafting secrets too. So if you guys want to hold back in some, I don't blame you. I'm doing it too. If you want a secret to figuring out some of the stuff that I'm holding back, notice when I open some things and all of a sudden I start getting nervous. I'm like, oh shit, hope they don't notice what's open. It's like I've already revealed some of my biggest crafting secrets. You could just look through the videos that I've recorded. I won't mention my biggest secrets because I want to leave some stuff for people to figure out. Now I was gonna edit it out of the video, and then I'm like, oh, I'll just leave it in there and see if anyone notices. Now, if anyone notices, you can put it in the chat, or maybe you want to keep it a secret too. And you can use it to make PED. It's not that drastic of a secret. Not like you're gonna break the bank making fucking millions of PED or something. It's one of those secrets where you can use it maybe once or twice a month. Maybe pushing it. And if you do it too much, you'll flood the market. So that's why you have to do it not as much. Because if you just did it over and over again, all of a sudden the markup on what you're making would just fucking... that sort of thing. Now, what is there? There's some blueprints on Monria that I'm going to try. I think it's just the Explosive Projectile 1. I might try the Lesser Elijah, but I'm pretty sure the crafter owners on Monria haven't made any clothing prints yet. If anyone knows otherwise, could they post it in the chat? I'd really like to know that. Maybe I'll get into some of the resources that I'm using. Yeah, sorry guys, every time I'm doing these long space flights, I had the idea where I could open up a fucking website and show you some other stuff while we're flying. Just testing the lag. Now every time I open another program, I think XSplit takes like a little while to adapt. There's a couple fucking minutes of lag and then it catches up. Excuse me. Sorry. That chocolate milk is getting to me. Now what it is, there's a resource. Oh, here it is. Now what I'm doing right now is I'm testing the Rocktropia website. Holy. Now when I check the Rocktropia website, not only did it say that it's not up, but it came up with a warning dangerous malware. So that's interesting. Anyways, let's try to open another Entropia website. I'll give you guys one of my crafting secrets. And maybe if the guy who's making this website, maybe if he stopped, I can't remember. No, he must be still making it because they still got updates. Oh yeah, there's shitloads of updates. Here's a website that you want to check out as a crafter if you're getting into crafting. Or if you're already into crafting and you're not using this website, it's kind of a shame. It's called here candyman.se. But basically it's Bob the Builder for Entropia. And it'll be a website that has a whole bunch of information on blueprints, what the new latest ones are that have been added to the game, how much they're selling and buying and selling for. You can... Hey, here's that Abbey curtain blueprint. I guess it is new. Yeah, so that's what they got. Is I use this website quite a bit. What I used to use it for is I would click on each different type of blueprint and I'd try to find out what is the cheapest one to use to craft. So that way I can use it for more fishing purposes. It's basically crafting is fishing. Each time that you're fishing into the lake, you're trying to fucking fish out a new blueprint. So, in fishing, what some people will do is they'll try to get the cheapest bait they can use. Like instead of using worms that cost money all the time, they'll just get a lure that they can reuse over and over again. So that's sort of the same philosophy with crafting. You're trying to find a lure that's the cheapest you can use over and over again to try to fish for those blueprints. And in order to get the cheapest lure, you're going to have to find the cheapest blueprint. So that's why I like that Lesser Elijah one. If you're looking for a clothing blueprint that's a lure that you can use to fish for the clothing blueprints, yeah, then the fucking Lesser Elijah is a good lure to use. Now please, if anyone knows a blueprint for clothing that's cheaper than the Lesser Elijah, so you could use it as a lure, please put it in the chat. Like, I know I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed, so I'm pretty sure I'm fucking up on a lot of the stuff I'm doing. You guys can help me. And I realize that the more and more I make tutorial videos, is that I do reverse tutorial videos, where I'm like begging for people's help to figure out stuff. Like, come on, viewers, teach me. Now, how did it work? In Clone Evolution, I was offering different tips and advice and make a video, and then I'd read the chat after, and there'd be so much better tips and advice in the chat. They'd be like, shit, for a tutorial video, it's like I learn more from the viewers. Looks like we got some aliens hanging out. Holy fuck. I don't know, Monria Space Station looks like a giant fucking asteroid, or is it just me? I could have swore it used to have a dock that I had to fly into. Maybe this is some sort of adventure. A mysterious adventure! Well, I know what it is. The space station's behind this giant asteroid. Duh. I was like, wait a minute, if I fly into this asteroid, it's not 2.9 away. Now that's one lesson I've learned. If you're ever questioning that the universe has changed, it's probably not the universe, but it's you. It's like, you've changed. Now, I think I was telling this story in my other channel, or other game series, Clone Evolution. Maybe I told it in this one, hopefully not. If I did tell it in this video series, then I'm telling it for the new viewers who haven't seen this episode, or have just joined the show now. Now, if anyone's had or has sleep apnea, or used to have it, you know how that you can choke in your sleep, and it's not good because you're not breathing for long periods of time? Well, that happened to me once, where I had sleep apnea so bad that when I woke up in the middle of the night, I wasn't getting any air at all. Like when I would try to breathe when I woke up. And so I decided that, hey, maybe the atmosphere of the entire planet is gone. While I was asleep, the entire atmosphere just collapsed or something. And that's why I couldn't breathe. So I'm like, oh shit, atmosphere's gone. That sucks. I'm like, well, guess I'll just lay down and fucking go to sleep because I can't breathe anymore. Try to make this as painless as possible, right? But then as I was laying there, I was like, wait a minute. What happens if it's not the universe or the atmosphere that's gone? What happens if it's just me choking? And I was like, oh shit, I better get up and try to do the Heimlich maneuver to fucking get air again, right? So yeah, so that's what I did, is I got up, gave myself the fucking Heimlich maneuver. I think it was on like a desk or a fucking furniture or something. Thank God I had taken CPR courses and knew how to do it. It's like, not only can you do the Heimlich maneuver on other people, but there's ways that you can take courses to do it for yourself. It's like, why am I always going in that direction? Servicing yourself. But anyways, yeah, so thankfully I was able to do the Heimlich maneuver, got air passage clear, and then I was able to breathe again. And I was thinking I might have stopped breathing for over 5 minutes or longer. And then I found out that that's actually not that uncommon, because world record divers are holding their breath upwards of 20 minutes. So yeah, so I didn't even know that was possible, that people can hold their breath for that long. Now, I know in certain circumstances you're going to not be able to hold your breath that long, especially if you're doing physical exercise, because that will drain all the oxygen you have faster. But if you're just laying down, obviously you're not going to be burning through oxygen as fast as you would jogging. Yeah, I don't recommend anyone trying holding their breath for 20 minutes or any amount of time. No, so that was where I was getting to the whole point of the story. If something you think all of a sudden the universe has changed, don't drastically change what you're doing because of that. Maybe reevaluate to see if it was you that changed and not the universe. It's like the Monria space station is probably not changed into a giant asteroid. It's just me. I'm high as fuck and I almost crashed into it thinking it did. No, one of these days, my channel is going to be taken off YouTube. So you guys better enjoy it while it lasts. I might switch to BitChute. Well, who knows? No, I'm trying my best, if anyone at YouTube is listening, to stay within the terms of service. Ah, fuck. These aliens are so gonna kill me. Or is this a pirate shooting me? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was a pirate. Yeah. No, was the sky failed young? Some of these fucking goddamn aliens are really fast now. Huh? Maybe that was some of the space changes. So that's what you get for asking for space changes. No good deed goes unpunished. Remember that. Be careful what you wish for. Now, actually, when I sleep now, to try to avoid some of those fucking choking episodes, is I'll keep something nearby, like a spoon or something, so if I have something clogged in my air passage, I can just clear it with the spoon, rather than trying to do the Heimlich maneuver on furniture. Now, talk about what a relief, too. Once you feel like a little bit of air pressure start to get through, you're like, holy fuck, air is amazing. It's like you never realize how much you need air until you can't get it. No, thankfully in my whole life, I think I've only had 2 or 3 episodes that were as severe as that. Usually something will happen where I'll like travel and I'll have the sleep apnea attack and I won't have anything nearby. Then I'll have to try to do the Heimlich on furniture again. Now it's kind of weird, eh? When you think about that first aid course, a lot of people take it because they're like, hey, I can help or learn to help save other people. But really, a whole section of that course is teaching you how to save yourself, too. Very good course to take. I highly recommend it. Alright, let's recall my vehicle. I do believe I'm in the space station. Or no, this looks like Monria. Alright. So in a way, the aliens were helping me. Got a little bit of piloting skills. Yeah, you notice how I got those piloting skills when I was evading the aliens? Right, first place we will visit on Monria will be Cave 3. I just want to check it quick, see if anyone's there. This is the #1 spot location for collecting sweat. If anyone, I noticed a lot of my viewers are into sweat gathering, so thank God. I appreciate you guys watching the show, because I was worried everyone who was watching would be anti-sweating. So my favorite thing to do would be pissing everything off, all the viewers off. Alright, so... Holy shit. Those are the cultists. You definitely don't want to be sweating those. But this side of Cave 3, unfortunately there's nobody here now. But, since I'm strong as fuck, I can show you what it's like a little bit. It's not really my skills that are that good, I just bought a lot of rings. Now I highly recommend, if anyone's into sweating, make sure you're cashing in your sweat to buy rings. Now, Entropia is weird. Like, man, back in the day, I remember everything was always about skilling and armor, skilling and armor. But as soon as rings came out, I almost switched exclusively to them. Alright, the mob I'm looking for is called the Yogg. Normally it's not this far away. Yeah, this could be what happened is maybe Monria did some updates. Maybe that's why no one's sweating here anymore, is because the Yogg isn't here anymore. And they put Cultist here instead. Or maybe it could be the situation that I was just talking about before. The game hasn't changed. It's me. I might have got the cave mixed up. Maybe it's cave 2 and not 3? No, because I specifically remember sweating in this spot. We used to stay in right here. We'd put the Yogg right there. Alright, well, it's kind of disappointing to see that some of the changes to Monria is they changed the best sweating spot on the planet, but that's happened on Calypso a few times where we had the best sweating spot and then they changed the allophiles so you couldn't sweat them anymore. Maybe that's what happened. I'm not sure. Why did everyone stop sweating allophils? Well, it's not all bad news because there is one other place that I was sweating the Yoggs, so maybe everyone just moved there. I'd say the only bad thing about moving the Yoggs out of here was the Yoggs that were in here before globaled at a very high rate. This was the cave 3 spot I was telling you that the sweaters were getting like 10 globals a night. And off a level 3 mob. Right, so I think it was east or west was the names of the places that I would go to before for sweating. And I don't see those names anymore. Yeah, I guess Monria's either gone through some changes, or I'm just having issues trying to remember it. It's probably a little of both. Hey, tower. Oh yeah, that's right. The towers are where I had my shops. How could I forget that? I believe it was either this shop or that one that I owned, or both of them. At one point, I actually owned, what was it, 3 shops or 2 shops in one hallway. So I owned like an entire hallway of shops. But I ended up selling them because I got really good offers. And this is how you can tell too, what I was talking about before, is usually say the owner of shop 6, they'll own this, which is the terminal that allows you to put a sign here. It's like the sign space. But this terminal is also big enough that you can put a shopkeeper. So you can have a shopkeeper standing as far as over here. So that's why when, say they had the respawn location here, respawn terminal, I think that's what that was, is I put my shopkeeper right here. So every time someone would respawn here, they were looking right at my shopkeeper. Which that was good for traffic. Especially when you think every person who dies on the moon is going to spawn there. Now look at the fucking size of these shops. You get this big room here, this entrance hallway, that fucking sign deed in the front. Like, let's see how many item points the sign deed has. Yeah, fucking 10 item points. That's pretty good for a fucking second deed. I wonder if this is the person I sold the shop to. I should have wrote it down which ones I owned. I forget. So anyways, so that person owns that whole front. They own this hallway. They own this side room. Then you get a fucking giant lobby room here. And the nicest thing about this lobby room is when it's not super dark outside, it's a fucking incredible skyline view where you can see stars and fucking bases and fields and moons. It's like, what a good design compared to, like, say, my other shop in FOMA. Like, I don't have any view. It's just like blank walls. Here you get fucking giant, pristine view. When I had this as my shop, what I did is I put a fucking giant throne there, like right here in front of the window. And then I had like this big fucking drop back as like the background of my throne. It looked amazing. I put like statues and torches around it. It's fucking sick. Like, I was thinking, these shops are nicer than any apartment you can buy. No, like, whoever designed these Monria shops, they should get a pat on the back. Like, don't you think? So, you have that big main room there, then you get 2 side rooms, and another room upstairs. It was funny, at one point, I made a hairstylist place on Monria, and I had the entire gig here. All 3 of the different chairs. Right, before I finish the episode... Oh, fuck. Before I finish the episode, there's a way I can lock that, for fuck's sakes. Why does it keep... It's set on lock. Lock position. Anyway, sorry for that, guys. But, yeah, next I'm going to go from this shop, and I'm going to walk down. For God's sakes, can you stop asking me to fucking stream? Like, I don't know, any of the people in Mindark, if they want to get that thing to stop appearing, especially when you're already streaming, it's fucking annoying. But anyways. Yeah, so that's a lot of fucking stuff that you get for Monria Deed. And can you believe I was buying these shop deeds for 2,000 ped at one point? I think what it was is someone was like selling them in bulk and they wanted to get rid of them. They're like, oh, 6,000 ped for 3 shops. I was like, sold. I think I resold each shop for 20,000 ped around there. So, what is that? 1,000% markup on each one. That's how you can start to see, like, buying in real estate sales in Entropia. If you can get good deals and resell it high, it's like a fucking global or even a Hall of Fame. Right. So before I get to the spot where I'll show you guys the ultimate fucking crafting mission to gain huge skills, let's get a message from the sponsor. Today's show was brought to you by Crack. Crack! It'll fuck you up. Well, thank you, sponsor. That was an excellent message, wasn't it? Alright, so if you want to go to the actual hub of where this mission is, it's the hub. Good naming for that teleporter. Okay, it says attention for new Monrians. Check out blah blah blah. You can tell my attention span really sucks. It's like I'm lucky if I make it a sentence into an article and I just skip to the end. Yeah, I see someone yellow there. They're trying to get me to go say hi to them. I might do that later. There's a giant fucking crafting terminal. Is that not the biggest crafting terminal you've ever seen? It's like a giant pillar. No, that's what she said. No, I bet you someone heard or seen that joke coming. No, things in Canada are bigger. No, that's just what we say. I don't know if it's really true in all cases. When you're driving through Canada, you often put statues of animals that are giant. Like we have a giant moose, we have a giant fish. We'll hold competitions of who has the biggest statues. Yeah, it looks like there's some new stuff here. I don't know, can anyone comment? Did Monria make some changes? Are some of these people new? I don't recall them. Well, anyways, as far as that big fucking crafting mission, here he is. So, I'll equip this for now. So you can do this mission once a day, and I haven't started it, so it's good timing. It says here, you can't get enough, I see. If you bring me 500 more, you will get another reward. Alright, will do. Or no thanks. Definitely going to pick will do, because I want to. Right, it says something about successfully crafting Monria items 500 times will complete the mission. Now hopefully I just didn't brag about fucking explosive projectiles completing this mission and now they won't work. Now there's a couple different terminals for crafting. Some people use that person. I think the global that I got from a terminal, little secret here, my very favorite slot machine in the casino. Remember, this game is not a casino, technically. Now I do believe, indubitably, it was this one. Pretty sure that's the one I got the global. It wasn't a huge global, but it was a global. So, let's try our luck here. No, when I first got into crafting these, I didn't know where you could buy nanocubes. There was actually someone around here selling nanocubes. And I was like, oh shit, eventually I realized you could just buy them from the fucking trade terminal. So that's kind of karma, how it went around, right? I'm selling trade terminal blueprints to people. Other people are selling me nanocubes. No, maybe you can't trade nanocubes anymore. Maybe they fixed that. Alright, anyways, I'm pretty sure you could complete this mission with about 20 peds worth of nanocubes. Let's give that a try. Now let's boost it up to 30. Because I'm pretty sure 30 will give me enough in the clear. Jinxed it. It's funny, because I rarely do these explosive projectile runs, so I'm kind of excited about this. Right, you can see I've got... That's good. Lesser Elijah. I do have one click I could do. See, you could try the explosive projectile too, if I was fishing for globals or Hall of Fames. But I only get 150 fishing attempts, so that's not going to be much to catch any prints. So if you're using the explosive projectile 1, sure you have less chance for globals, you get a lot more fishing attempts. But people will argue too, and it's true. With the explosive projectile 1, when you get more fishing attempts, same thing with the lure, you're basically using a smaller lure. So your chances of catching a really giant fish are way smaller. Almost impossible. Yeah, like to loot the best blueprint in the game is probably going to be impossible with the level 1 print. Whereas the level 2 or level 3 or level 4 print, your chances will go up and up and up. Bigger and bigger lure. Alright, so let's give this a try. Wait. See, my quality rating is only at 100, and it was actually one of my disciples. I gave him 100 ped, lent him my fucking explosive projectile 1, full quality rating. I was like, hey man, just fucking craft here with this print. I want to test and see if you get a global. It was like I wanted to test like a disciple out to see if they could global doing just like say 20 peds or 30 peds with the full print, just to see if it was possible. You know what happened? They quit playing the game. No, I even gave them a fucking Arcadia Underground deed too. I was like, man, that was the one day I realized you should never spoil disciples in the game, because chances are it's just going to make them get so much hooked on free stuff that when people stop giving them free stuff, they'll just quit. It's kind of like the whole welfare mentality, right? So that's when I kind of learned, instead of like pandering my disciples, I should really try to make them earn what they get so that they don't fucking just quit. Now, to be fair too, that disciple hasn't completely quit. He said that it was some computer problems and he will be back. So I'm just kind of thinking if it was happened to me, I would find a way to get back. Nah, I shouldn't even say that because, hey, let's try the U. I kept saying U was good for the Listerium print, or not Listerium, Lesser Elijah, so let's give her a go. Oh wait, that's what I was thinking. I can't really leave it on the U. Well, let's leave it on the U till we get one success, then I'll switch it. See, the reason I don't want to leave it on the U right now is I want the success rate as high as possible because my main objective is just to get the mission finished. So I'm not going to be fishing for globals if I'm trying to do this the most efficient way. If you don't care about efficiency because you're already loaded with pet and you're just doing this for the skills, then you can fucking boost it up occasionally. Alright, so you can see the success at the fucking U is only 0.03. So I might as well just boost it to full. Right, yes, and this mission is still correct. I hope this is not an exploit and the owners of Monria know this. I'm sure they would have by the years that it's been being used. But anyways, you can see the thing above, it shows that my successes are counting towards the Monria 500 items goal. So this video is already over the hour mark, so I won't give you guys much more of a look. I'll just let this run for a little bit. Now I forgot the bowl that I packed was the really good Sun Farms Cannabis with some of my vapor oil. The difference between vapor oil and regular cannabis oil is regular cannabis oil is very black, like Rick Simpson's oil. Like very dark green to the point where it's black. I don't know. If you can see, the cannabis vapor oil is actually like a reddish orange. So that's why I tend to call it more like cherry oil. All the chlorophyll or any of the darkness is gone. Now, one day it's my dream. If anyone actually has the test kits available to do this in Canada, maybe let me know and I could probably ship you some legally. I'm pretty sure. I'll look into it. But anyways, if anyone has test kits to test THC potency, I wouldn't mind to find out how much THC is in vapor oil. I'm assuming it's on the high end. Pardon the pun. Now, just because of the consistency, I noticed when I took vapor oil and I gave it to some people that have never tried vapor oil but have extremely high tolerances from being chronics for multiple years at a time, daily use. Yeah, so I gave it to some of them to see if they would catch a buzz from it at all, and most of them couldn't finish a joint. They said it was too potent and they had to put it out or they were gonna get dizzy and shit. I was kind of surprised at that, because I was thinking, yeah, it's probably pretty strong, but... I noticed with me, I never finished the Vaporizer story. The first time I tried the Extreme Q, you may have noticed it's a very different vaporizer. Your traditional vaporizer, like the Volcano, fills bags, and the bags that fill with vapor are very fine vapor. Almost so fine you can't even see it. Most people, myself included, believe this was because in order to have thick vapor, you needed to have a vaporizer that ran off liquids. Like, you know, those tobacco vaporizers that have huge fucking clouds. But what I found out is that's actually technically not true. You can buy the Extreme Q vaporizer, and coincidentally, when they released it, people modified it so that you could get extremely thick clouds of vapor from plant material. And then that's how I got into modifying, is I'm like, shit, the tube, when it was collecting the vapors, or when you were taking the vapors, it would fill up with the vapor and it tasted like the tube. So I'm like, man, that sucks. I wanted to collect vapor oil from like a clean material. So that's when I switched it to a glass and fucking metal. After I did that, started collecting the vapors, I had this fucking extremely fucking pure reddish oils. And it just builds up in the machine using it out of the box. So that's not really that big of a modification, just taking a rubber tube and swapping it out with a glass piece. And the only other thing I changed to the glass piece is I also made it Airless Gas Bubbler. So it's like a piece similar to chemistry equipment. Not exactly. No, it's basically a bong. So it's a glass bong that hooks up to it. No, I guess the reason people used airless gas bubblers or scientists is that they wanted to monitor how fast flow was. So when gas was going through a tube and it went through a bong, they could see it bubbling. And the faster the bubbles would go, they would know how fast the air was going through. So if you need to monitor your airflow as a chemist, you want an airless gas bubbler. Oh yeah, and vacuum air pressure, that's another thing. Technically, a little bit of bong chemistry here. Cannabis alchemy. No, the problem with cannabis distillation was when they wanted to distill cannabis oil, distillation process required the temperature to get hot enough to destroy THC. So you could distill the oil, but it would destroy all the active components. But you may know from like NASA experiments and stuff and satellites that planets that have different atmospheric pressure have different boiling points. So science and chemists were able to adapt this same principle to change the airflow or pressure within inside of an experiment so that the boiling point would change. And they call this the short path distillation. So you use air pressure, it changes the temperature required for the cannabis oil to boil. Now all of a sudden it's at a lower temperature. So you're essentially distilling cannabis into a really pure oil, but you're not destroying the active components. Sorry, I hope that isn't too complicated. I'm not the greatest at explaining shit. It's basically air moving makes cannabis oil good. No, so that's the principle behind the Extreme Q vaporizer as well. Because it's using airflow, you inhaling, creating a thing, and it's essentially vaporizing cannabis, but it's enabling this airflow to vaporize the cannabis at a lower temperature. So you get huge boosts of smoke, like it's burning, or vapor, but it doesn't actually get hot enough to burn the plant material. And you get a fucking huge cloud. So what kind of ingenious invention is that? Well, and the other thing too is it makes THC 80% fucking stronger. So that was one bad thing that happened when I first started using the Extreme Q. I was a daily cannabis user already for a back injury, and had been for over a decade. So I could almost not even catch a buzz, no matter how many big cannons of weed I would smoke, it didn't matter. So I tried the Extreme Q, and guess what happened? I almost turned green and threw up and got the spins. Well, I didn't actually throw up, but I got like the vomiting sensation where I had to stop smoking. I was like, holy fuck, how did one bowl almost make me throw up? It's like, that's way stronger than traditional smoking. So then you can imagine when these vapors collect, being that strong, that makes the oil slightly strong too. Slightly. It's like sometimes I'm the king of underestimation too. Now the disadvantage to this obviously is once people that fucking vaporize concentrates like shatter and do dabs, they already know the fucking side effect to this. Eventually, once you get so fucking body chemistry adapted to suppressing fucking super high potency concentrates, then normal amounts of THC from just smoking joints will have no effect on you whatsoever. So it's like if you were ever a fucking DA agent or a fucking cop and you wanted immunity from THC, all you'd have to do is vaporize from this for a little while. And no matter how many fucking joints you smoke, it wouldn't actually change how high you were getting. Thankfully, if you stop vaporizing from this machine for a few days, then all of a sudden your potency will, or tolerance will lower back to normal amounts so you can start catching buzzes from joints again. It's kind of like the transition if you're a raging alcoholic and you're like funneling vodka every day, and then all of a sudden one day you're like, hey, maybe instead of funneling vodka, I'm going to start taking sips of beer, or light beer to that. You'd be like, do you think you're still going to catch a buzz? I don't think so. No, I highly don't recommend fucking funneling hard liquor. I knew some people that used to take hits of acid and funnel bottles of vodka. Usually ended in fucking mornings of puke and fucking diarrhea covering washrooms. I feel so bad for Mark. No, one time we all ran away when we went upstairs and seen the fucking mess that happened when someone did that with fucking acid and vodka. We really all should have stayed and helped him clean. So, if Mark's listening to the show, I don't feel bad about anything. You did bad to me after that because really I kind of deserved it. I should have stayed and helped clean. All the people are like, run away! I'm not going to help clean that. Now, that's why you gotta be careful. Like, if I have any good advice to people partying their asses off, try to make sure you're not doing it at your house or your parents' house to that. Or you're gonna have some fucking epic cleanups. I remember so many times growing up that I was cleaning up puke, trying not to puke. Alright, so that was pretty good for the crafting run. I'll end today's episode. Don't want to get carried away with rambling on about stories of puking. We'll save that for the end of the show. Maybe if I could get a global here, I'll puke. Now, I think the show has evolved from mankinis to puking. I don't know if that was the transition everyone was looking for the show to go. Now, I'm just gonna, like I always say, if you're gonna play the fucking game, you gotta at least do a couple clicks at the full condition, just in case. Oh yeah, don't forget to turn globals on. I think it's good to have globals on and try to have the menu away so you can see your character. I know it's the last screenshot when I got the global, it's like you couldn't even see me, so I was like, shit, I should have had it been prepared. Not only was it not a global, but it wasn't even a ped. But the good news is I did finish 67 of those crafting clicks towards the mission. Alright. Alright, thanks everyone for watching the show today. Hope I didn't bore you to death. I'm going to try after the Monria crafting run to pick up the skill reward, show everyone how good it is. Maybe finish up and show you where that good sweating location is. Sorry, I only went to one sweating location, no one was there, neither was the mob. So yeah, that'll be some of the excitement for tomorrow's episode, where the best place is to buy and sell sweat and collect it on Monria. I'll reveal that. Hopefully I can find it. I don't think I saw its location listed on the teleporter, so it might be a bit of an episode. But it's not all going to be sweating stuff. After that, I plan on moving to Calypso to check out the Camp Icarus Mankini protest. And people might be thinking, oh, you're going too hardcore Mankini. Well, what I was thinking of doing is maybe using this to help the Entropia community a little bit. Because I know if there's some sort of protest about a Mankini, I can get some video footage, maybe even talk to Entropia Zine, that magazine, get them to write a blog about that protest. And then what I'll do is use some of my connections in the press. See if I can get some people to run some stories about the fucking protest and be like, hey, Swedish company is supposed to be progressive, but they're turning against their own values and banning a Mankini. So yeah, maybe we can get some big press in Entropia and pick up the amount of people that are coming into the game and buying those fucking Ancient Greece deeds. No, I noticed Bonnie was doing some updates too about how she was on Ancient Greece and showing the loot and how some of the rare minerals or materials that you loot on Ancient Greece, the markup is increasing because people are getting them and using them. So it seems like that's a good place right now. If you want to invest, go to Ancient Greece. I know it's kind of at a low right now, but really that's the key. When you're getting into a situation, you want to get in at the low and sell high, right? So yeah, hopefully anyone who's watching the videos doesn't lose a fortune investing in the Ancient Greece stuff. If you want a for sure investment, check out the links below. I got ones where you can watch PED or watch TV, make PED, play games, win money, listen to radio, win PED. Or yeah, online purchases, get cash back. Fucking a whole bunch of crazy ass links below. I've been using them. A whole bunch of viewers have been using them now too. Can't thank you guys all enough. Even patrons. I've got someone who signed up for a monthly Patreon. Really appreciate that. I'm going to promise to, let's see, what is this? July 9th. Right. Before the end of July, I'm going to have some updates of content to my Patreon. Try to make it a little bit more exciting for the people that subscribe. And for everyone who's already subscribing, before I'm giving any big giveaways, I'm going to try to put aside something extra special for you too. Hopefully I can think of something. Alright, appreciate you guys watching the show right to the end. Everyone for liking and sharing, that really helps. It's big time. Oh yeah, and if anyone can help share it on Discord. I know I mentioned that I was getting into Discord a little, but if people can help share it on Discord, that really helps me, because with my concussion, Discord is extremely difficult to follow, so you can help me just by sharing it on there. I know there's a couple of people that probably wanted to hear about it. Alright, and yeah, I'll keep trying to do the show, get all the latest Entropia news. If anyone has any new Entropia news and content that they want shared on my show, just send it to me. I guess I got my Leland Judson page on Facebook that I try to use for a lot of stuff. And my regular Facebook page, I kind of have been inviting a lot of people from Entropia. It's because the Entropian community is so fucking usually well behaved. I don't know, I used to be in the paranormal field and I would invite everyone from it, and there was a little bit of wild characters, so I'm more selective about who I'm adding from that field. Now what happened when the paranormal community was weird. There were some people that would create 1 or 2 accounts for themselves and then make thousands of these other spam accounts. I don't know if it was for marketing purposes or what, but yeah, so I don't want to be adding thousands of people spam accounts to my Facebook, so you can just, even the YouTube chat, I probably check it as much as anything else, and I'm going to start using the Google email link to that so that I actually get every notification, not just random ones. I appreciate everyone watching the show. And, oh yeah, the thing that's been bugging me the most recently, tiny little red ants. Like, I fucking live in a sand dune, so my house is built on sand, so fucking ants are everywhere. It's like you can poison them, but the only way you can really get rid of them is just have no food or any sources around that attracts ants. Because right now there's these fucking little crazy, little tiny red ants. So small that you can almost barely not even see them. You have to like focus and be like, oh fuck, there's ants. They're coming for you. Yeah, so if the ants get into your fucking vaporizer, and you vaporize some disgusting little red ants, not that that's actually happened to me. Thank God they don't go in it. Yeah, if that happens, give the video a dislike. But if not, I appreciate it if you can just keep liking it. And yeah, catch you guys later. Oh yeah, almost forgot the most important thing. For God's sakes, never buy the products from our sponsor. It will ruin your life.